Can the Fever stay competitive without Caitlin Clark? Examining Indiana's approach as injuries mount. Clark's absence highlights tactical shifts, evolving defensive schemes, and the challenges facing the Fever's playoff hopes. Caitlin Clark's injuries have become a defining storyline of the Indiana Fever's 2025 season. The rookie guard has played just 13 of the team's first 25 games, missing time with left quad and groin injuries, as well as a recent right groin strain. On Thursday, the Fever announced that Clark's return timeline remains undetermined as the franchise prioritizes her long-term health. The Fever began the year with elevated expectations. The addition of veterans like DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard, combined with All-Stars Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, was intended to accelerate Indiana's rebuild. The team opened the season with a dominant win over the Chicago Sky, with Clark recording a triple-double. Since then, the roster has undergone significant changes. Bonner, signed for her experience, played 9 games before being waived and returning to Phoenix. Indiana has since adjusted both its rotation and its playing style to compensate for Clark's absence, and on offense, opposing teams have shifted their defensive strategy. Last season, Clark faced blitzes on over 11% of her pick-and-roll possessions, the highest rate in the league. In 2025, that rate has dropped to 5%, while the switch rate on Clark's ball screens has increased to 16.8% from 7.1%. This adjustment has reduced the number of easy scoring opportunities generated by Clark and her teammates. In response, Indiana has increased its reliance on Aaliyah Boston as a playmaker. Boston's usage in dribble handoffs has risen sharply. She is now leading the league in handoff initiations. Her expanded role has improved her passing metrics and allowed the Fever to diversify their half-court sets. Defensively, Indiana has also evolved. Under new head coach Stephanie White, the Fever have increased their average ball handler pickup distance from 38.3 feet to 45.8 feet, ranking 5th in the league. Players like Lexi Hull, Ari McDonald, and Sophie Cunningham have contributed to a more aggressive approach, leading to more forced turnovers and fewer open perimeter looks for opponents. Team defensive coverage on pick and rolls has shifted as well. Indiana's switch rate has grown from 9.4% to 17.5%, while their blitz rate is now the highest in the league at 7.8%. These adjustments have resulted in modest improvements to the Fever's defensive rating compared to last season. In Clark's absence, Indiana has posted a 5-7 record, but holds a positive point differential in those games. The Fever have leaned on Boston's development as a creator, while Mitchell's scoring and Cunningham's versatility have helped stabilize the lineup. Opposing teams are shooting 28.5% from 3 with Clark on the floor, compared to 33.2% when she is on the bench. The Fever's defensive improvements have been incremental but noticeable. Indiana finished 11th out of 12 in defensive rating last year, but current trends suggest progress under White's leadership. The team's increased backcourt pressure and switching tactics have produced more consistent stops, although consistency remains an area for improvement. Clark's return would likely improve Indiana's offensive efficiency, particularly in transition and high pick-and-roll scenarios. However, the degree of her impact will depend on her health and how quickly she can reintegrate with a team that has adapted in her absence. Indiana's ability to remain in playoff contention will hinge on continued defensive growth and the successful reintegration of Clark into the rotation. The Fever have demonstrated the capacity to adapt tactically, but the competitive landscape of the WNBA remains challenging, with teams like the Liberty and Lynx setting a high standard. While Clark's recovery is the immediate focus, the data suggest that Indiana's evolving strategies on both ends of the court will be essential if the Fever are to meet preseason expectations and compete for a postseason spot.